Okay, guys. So now let's get to this point. Okay, so I am kidnapped, right? So it was like after Sadie's death or whatever, like I get kidnapped, and so these kidnappers actually take me on just like a travel. So the first person was holding me, like I said. Okay, so this is what happens. I was like telling everybody about this earlier today. So I was in the basement, and I think this now is called the Perennial. Let me get the address, please. So it's called the Perennial right now, and we own this building. So Um, Sadie was there because we were getting the houses together, and I guess in the basement, like we had like art pieces and stuff like that. Like it's just like a storage or something for us. And the woman was actually acting like she was doing my hair. So what happens is, and she acted like she gave a banister to me too. So this was like a plan. I think it was a planned murder of Sadie or whatever, or whoever was there. So when I was in the basement, I think somebody was holding me, like they were holding my mouth or whatever. And Sadie came down the stairs. So at the perennial, they changed the steps. So the steps that are there now, they go down like there's a door and then there's steps right there. The steps used to actually you open up one of the first door. If you looking at it from the middle from the bus stop, it's like okay, let me see. Okay, so it's like a bus area or whatever where it's just like a loop. It's like a circle, it's like an island. So if you're looking at it from the bus stop that's facing Perennial, it's the first door into the building on the right. So you go down those stairs, and those are the stairs that had the hole, and that's where Sadie fell at. There weren't any stairs where I was, like where the stairs are now. That's where I was standing at. So I was standing over there, and I was looking through something, and I got grabbed or something like that. So Sadie came down the stairs, and she fell through the stairs. When Sadie got out of the stairs, somebody grabbed her. And when Sadie got out of the stairs, she was just like kind of sitting on the stairs. Like I don't think that she passed away or anything. So that's when I started sitting on the stairs, and then that's it. She like disappeared, and then it was like another person in the ambulance, and they were like, "Okay, wait her," and all this different stuff. But I think the person was actually just trying to hold me there to like the person was taking me as a hostage. So I think the first person that took me as a hostage was a pedophile. Okay. So I think that's what the trouble was, because it was like they wanted to hang out with me in South City or whatever. So they actually took me back to the 3220 where I'm living in now. Actually took me back to 3220 Mount Pleasant Street in South City. I also ended up going to the house that's on. Oh my God, it's the house that I wanted. And we had just finished the garage. And I got over there and I was like, why did you do this? And that's in South City too. It's over by a boys club or something like that. It's by a park. It's across the street from a park. It looks like it was in the movie, the Pettigrew movie, Miss Pettigrew and something else. So that was it. So the first address I put up is this is the perennial address. That's where Sadie was killed. That's where Sadie Thomas was murdered. Okay, that's where she was either murdered or kidnapped. All right, and then when they kidnapped me, they took me to this address like almost all the time. I was over there with Brian too. So, and I don't think Brian did anything. It was like Brian was just there. Okay, so and I think Brian saw Sadie too. I think Brian was talking about Sadie. So after everything happened, let me tell you guys that part. I'm just moving into that part. So let's get back to this address right here. After everything happened, we ended up back at the 3220 Mount Pleasant address for a few days because they were working on stuff. So they worked on the steps. I ended up getting mud on myself. That's how Tempe Harmon got her story about she doesn't want dirty Guess jeans and all this stuff. When I was in high school, y'all, this happened when I was 5. So Tempe Harmon was talking about this when I was in high school. And that was from one of the surrogates that was Angela, that was pretending to be Corletta Thomas. Okay, this is one of William's other children. Okay, this is one of Billy's other children. So, When I ended up there, that's when he was like, "That was a clean woman. That's a clean woman." That's what Brian was saying. So he was like, I was like, I don't always say this, but if you like her, you should just marry her. I don't know. I was like, I don't always talk, but if you like her, you should just marry her or something like that. So then we just stood there. So it was a dark skinned guy. I didn't see his face. I think he really did look like LaTron Davis, but just a softer face. And it was Brian. So we were there. So then the next time I was back in South City, I was over there with Jody and Dion, and they were supposedly fixing up the steps. And like I said, later on, the guy who was like Chicken George in Roots, he showed up at the church and he was like, "Hey, y'all got y'all mama house yet? You got your mama house yet?" So they were like actually being mean about it. And it's like, no, he's like, that wasn't us. That was like, I think that was Jody and Dion, because they were like actually trying to get June a house. So the house was like stolen by Joel McCombs. All right. So that was the house that they were actually working on to give to June. So June didn't want to live in, June was the one that didn't travel to St. Louis. So June didn't want to live in St. Louis. So they built her like this nice house. Y'all had a nice bathroom. It was like tiled. It was going to be like a wet room and all this different stuff. In college, Joel McCombs finds me in college, and he is well into his 30s. I had just turned like I was actually 18, y'all. So that means I was 18 because my birthday isn't until October 24th. So I was 18 years old and 18, and I was taking like an acting class or something like that. Was I 18 or 19? I was probably 19. I was 19. So I was taking an acting class. He found me. He wanted me to read books to him and stuff. So later on, they did the movie with what is this? With Leonardo DiCaprio, when she's the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, when she has him reading to him and stuff. Like it was like the and they know I'm Jewish, y'all, so they know if he was a Jewish boy and he was reading to this German woman. So I have to actually, I'm doing this to show that it's like stalking. Like it's like, okay, I'm proving to you that this happened with me and this person got this from this, because they'll keep acting like, okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Just like I'm Cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like I really am Cookie. I came up with the idea at the house. Like I was in there crying about Maleficent. Cause I was like, this is so mean. Cause this is what they do to me. Like it'll be like, I'm gonna hold you for 10 years, bitch. You know, you just like, you don't have to. You know, so it was Jack Gibson, Joel McCombs, and Brandon Clark. Those are like my biggest, like, just I can't get away from it all. Jack Gibson, Joel McCombs, and Brandon Clark. So anyway, so that was it. So we out on the street. We say that I told you guys about them fixing up the house. Jody and Dion fixing up the house, or whatever. So I went back. I guess after I was on the north side, somebody held me in the car on the north side. So the guy, he kidnapped me on the north side, and I was in a blue car. That was when I came back from Canada. Okay. But I think that's the end. No, that's when it was like, okay, this is the finality. So yeah, I'm there. So what would happen is, it's like, I guess the person was using a needle to like stick me in my back because I kept passing out. So every time I pass out, it's like, I guess that's when the person was sexually molesting me. Because I did wake up one day and I was like, it was like cum or something on me. And so it's like the people can be like not visible to you. So the person was actually like trying to actually put spit or like actual nut in my underwear. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I was like, this shit crazy. So I get on TikTok and tell you everything. Um so that was it. So the person must have held me in the bathroom, and somebody was talking about that too. They was holding me in the bathroom, trying to tell me to go to the bathroom. And I guess Antoine Noel repeated this on my son. He was trying to like make my son say that my son wasn't being potty trained or something. And so I always tell them, like, I'm old enough to do this stuff myself. Like, I don't need you to help me. Like, I'm a very independent child. So you can ask all the people that was in my family, Rita, Lady, you can ask any of them. Lady haven't even seen me. Lady only know about me as a child. So it's like, she would be like, yeah, I'm a very independent person. I'm a little person, but I'm independent. So, he was holding me in the bathroom and trying to pretend as if I was using the bathroom because he was in there trying to really have sex with me, like actually stick his penis into my vagina. Like he was actually really trying to do this stuff. Some people that can help me recount this is Sylvester, because Sylvester wasn't trying to molest me or anything. But if they had the device in the car, Sylvester put me on his lap one day to help me drive. And I think his penis got hard. Sylvester was like, no, you cannot sit on my lap anymore. You cannot sit on my lap. And that was it. So Sylvester was like, I don't do that shit. You see what I'm saying? Sylvester wasn't playing with me. Sylvester never tried to molest me, and I wasn't trying to be sexually I wasn't a fast little girl like Sylvester touched my vagina. I wasn't like that at all. It was like neither one of us had a clue of what was going on. So, like I said, the lady that was thief, she would like every night she would like, if Sylvester try to touch you, you tell me. Every night. I was like, I can't stand this woman. If Sylvester try to touch you, you tell me. He the first person, y'all, that actually he didn't have a clue that I was kidnapped. And he was the first person that just treated me like a kid. Like I'm like, he actually treated me as if I was a child. Like it's not something where I'm gonna be like, no, Sylvester didn't do a damn thing. Sylvester had no clue. Sylvester McGee was kidnapped himself. He didn't even know. His sisters are some evil witches, y'all. So Sylvester McGee, and he'll be like taking up for him, just like me. I would take up for people. Like when I was taking up for Beyonce, I just kept taking up for her. And it's like, I can't take up for you because you do this shit on purpose. Sylvester will sit there and take up for his sisters, and his sisters knew the whole time that woman was not my mother. Knew it the entire time and knew that it was two or three of them. Not joking. His sisters actually knew, y'all. It wasn't a joke. Alberto was the person that didn't know anything. So they had Alberto set up like Alberto was part of the kidnap. Alberto wasn't the person that knew anything. Norvell, I think Norvell knew. And I think Norvell knows now. So it's like, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. There, because if you're trying to keep everybody from me and I didn't do anything to them, I'm trying to help everybody. I'm telling them the truth. And now it's like, no, get away. Scat, little girl, scat. It's a new story for us. It's like, no, I'm sorry. You knew that they were doing that stuff to me. So, like I said, I was sitting on the toilet the other day, y'all. I felt like it was like a person actually trying to stick their penis in me and run their hand up the back of my butt and through my vagina and back up through my butt. So the people, like I said, if I can't visually see them, what can I do? I can't do anything but be in a mess. Like just figure out ways to just keep them from getting me infected with anything. What's the next thing? So the person was like, yeah, he had to be like sticking me in my back. Like I said, it was a group of men that came upstairs. I keep saying, like I said, y'all, because I actually told this stuff on TikTok, but it's not in order. So then when we were at the house, the men at nighttime, I would have to open the door for them. So they'll put me on top of the stairs. It was the same thing there. They changed the stairs. So the stairs, they actually go downstairs and then they go upstairs. So the door was like, it was a door right there. So we go downstairs, go up the stairs. So the banister, after Sadie was killed, was moved to that house. So I could just walk up the stairs. And it's like, no, we could just put her up there. So they put me up there. They go in there, work on the house. And they would tell me everything they were doing because I will be the person in charge. So I'm the person in charge. So again, they would come to the door at night. Brian was not there. They would just be smiling at the door. Okay. And that was it. So the guy that was like really trying to be with me, he was tall, thin, dark. He's the one that was in Texas with me too. So he was trying to hold me in Texas too. Like, and then I also think that's when Dodie's cousin got a hold of me too. So he would like put me at the top of the cabinet and we'd go to sleep. And he'd just be looking at me, right? Just be like looking at me, maybe waiting for me to go to sleep because he was probably messing with me in my sleep. Like, so every time these people try to do something to me with the device, they always do it at night in the middle of the night. So that's what I'm saying. Like, he probably was doing that. So sometimes they take me back to 5305, sometimes not. What else happened? So that's all I can remember as far as like the molestation or rape with this group of pedophiles or this group of young men. So I don't think every man was trying to touch me. I don't even think they all knew, but one of them was holding me, so that could happen. So the last time I was like molested and I tried to get away, where somebody actually was where I could physically see the person, was when I was at the church. It's a church in East St. Louis, and it's a church that Dodie used to attend. So she said that she was gonna have a wedding there. So it's closer to my great grandmother's house. Okay, and I think I forget what is the name of that street. Oh, it's a back street. I forgot the name of the street. But anyway, I'll find out the address of the church. But this is in Illinois. So now they taking me from Missouri back to Illinois. So Dodie's cousin, he was the same way. So he would get me and I was conscious, y'all. So they put me back on the purple dress I had in my pictures, because we take like these big pictures of ourselves. Like they'll get us a professional picture. It looks like a painting, and we pose and they get us the picture. Okay. So then they hang the picture on the wall, and the picture was actually at Dodie's house. So she was saying that I was her godchild and I was going to be her flower girl. So whenever she got married, I never was her flower girl. So I think that the guy had me there just so that he could try to molest me. You see what I'm saying? So the church, I think it was already decorated or whatever. And he brought me in. He was trying to hold me, and I don't like to be picked up. So again, he got me in the church and had me on his lap. He had his head like pressed. I don't know. I think he was probably trying to use that. He was trying to probably put his penis in me at the church. So he was like probably trying to get his pants off. So he was pushing his head into my back and probably trying to get his pants off. And somebody was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And they said that to him. Y'all, I got up and I just started walking real wide-legged away from him, like trying to get away from him, like I was skating away from him, right? So then I finally got back to 5305. What else happened? So that was it. So when I finally got back to 5305, at some point they put me back in Washington Park. So this is after Coletta passed away, and when Nikki and Terrell were moved out of the house in Washington Park. So it was a house in Washington Park. Nikki and Terrell were there, and they dropped me off there. Okay. And at first Coletta was hurt, and Coletta was supposed to go and get Teddy Pendergrass, which I think it could have been something else. She probably had Chris earlier, something. I don't know. Because Chris Brown is Coletta's child, Coletta and Marvin Gaye's last child. So, and y'all, I guess I know that's probably their child, because they kept telling him that he was my cousin, right? They kept telling him that I think T was his cousin. I don't know, but he kept saying that I was his cousin. So I'm like, okay. And it's like he looks so much like them. So DNA will prove it, but Chris Brown is probably their child. So she was probably somewhere having Chris Brown. So the people were upset with Coletta and Sadie because of their skin color and because of everything, but they never say anything to them, right? They just try to act like they're doing it on the device. And they were upset for no reason. Like everything on this device is just like a chatterbox. It's nothing that should be taken that seriously. So they took it that seriously, and it was actually hookers in East St. Louis and St. Louis. Okay. So at some point I end up, like I said, the guy took me from the north side or something like that in a blue car, and it was a fire or something like that, and all that different stuff. So I don't know where it is. That everything right there is fuzzy. I don't know where it fits into my story, but that's what happened. And the guy runs upstairs and get the papers out of the house and all this different stuff. So they get me back in the blue car. When I get back to Washington Park, the person kicks me out of the car. Kicks me out of the car. So then when I get into the house, June kicks me out of the house. And Jody is like, Brandy is going to kill you. But he is not talking about me. He does not know my name. He just threw me out the house too. So they threw me out the house. I think that somebody came to pick me up. Maybe one of the surrogates picked me up and took me back to 5305. That's where Nikki and Terrell were with the new surrogate that was acting as if she were Coletta Thomas. Okay. So then Nikki and Terrell were gone one night. That's when the person comes over from like Children Family Services and tells the surrogate about Kurt Kemp. So she stands there and she's like, your new name is Shantae Lakeisha Schuler. and I'm gonna change your birthday so you can get on the plane. When you get on the plane, your birthday is August 30th, 1978. Like that. And I was like, okay, like I don't know what's going on. So that's what it was. She actually changed my birthday. So that's what it was. So it was just me, her, and this children family service person at the house. Um, and she left. So then, in all this haste, at some point, I stopped and played with Andre, which is now Andre 3000, Andre Benjamin. He's a lady's son. They kidnapped him, and then I guess told him he was Scottish because I had two Scottish boxes that one was given to Virginia and the other one was given to the McGee's. Okay, they came to pick those up. So that was the two kidnaps, Chris and Andre. And let's see. So then the next time I was abused, the person would just be in the house. So he would just abuse me in the middle of the night. So he would just abuse me. So he'll try to play with my vagina. He would try to make me hump on a pillow. He would try to make me ride the edge of a chair. What else? And they had a body hanging up down there on a hook, so it'd be like we can't see the body, but you can feel the body there. What else? So that would be when Terrell goes to sleep. The next time that I was abused, the person just kept me trying to get me in trouble from school or something. Like somebody was trying to get me in trouble at school or whatever all the time. So I got in trouble because I stayed out. They couldn't really whoop me or anything because I didn't do anything bad to get a whipping. But when they wanted to whip me, I ended up staying over at Gerald and Beckley's house because it was a snowstorm, and that was in the fourth grade. So because of the snowstorm, I ended up staying there. So they sent people over there to beat me or whatever for staying over there. So it wasn't the people that the real circus, they'll just come and whoop me and then they would leave. So then at night the other circus would come. So sometimes they wouldn't ever come home at all. We just be in the house by ourselves. We just be there by ourselves. Sometimes they'll leave us there by ourselves and just drop off McDonald's and stuff like we dogs. So that's what the woman was telling me too when she changed my name. And Brandy, we're gonna call you Brandy because you're a dog. We're gonna call you that because you're gonna be the dog. That's what she told me when nobody was there. I was gonna be the dog. So then, what else happened? After that, they would just find ways to just whoop me. Like they'll say I got in trouble at school, they'll find a way to whoop me. This is what people are leaving out. The guy who is pictured when y'all look up Buckwheat, he's not Buckwheat. So he was from Canada too. So he actually came to the school to see me, and that was in second grade. And he told them that he was not my granddaddy. Like he doesn't know me. He not my daddy or my granddaddy. He does not know me. He told them so many times. Y'all, they tried to give me a hickey to look like buckwheat. So when I hurt my head, this is after they beat me in the fourth grade. I hurt my head probably before school was over in April, because it was like after the snow and the flood was gone away. So it was like maybe April, end of May. This is when I stopped going to Texas to see Norvell. So I hurt my head and I got a hickey like over here. So the hickey just moved down into my face, y'all, like all over the summer. Did you hear me? So by the time school started back in fifth grade, I couldn't go back to fifth grade because they said I didn't look like myself. They were actually trying to make me look like the man because they were lookalikes. Like they look like Sadie, they look like Corletta, they look like they weren't them. So they were trying to make me look like the man. So I guess when it didn't work, when it finally, like when fifth grade was over and it didn't work, they moved us out to a trailer park. So that's where the guy, he started to want me to abuse T. But he started all that stuff when we were at the house at 5305 in the bathroom. And the person that was T, she knew about it because she was peeking in there trying to see what was going on. So he would try to make us like hump each other and different things like that. So then we moved to before that, it was a count of abuse at in Fairview Heights, Illinois, at a it was at a park, and we were there to swim. So the guy, he was like trying to feel on me in the pool. Actually, he wasn't trying to feel on me. He was actually grabbing my actual vagina and trying to put his finger inside of my swimsuit. So when my sister had to go to the bathroom with the one that is abducted, Ashley McGee, she had to go to the bathroom, and he tried to go follow us to the bathroom so that he could actually abuse her too. So I haven't been able to find the park again. So the park had like a pool. I thought we was in Fairview, so it had a pool. It was like a wood lodge. It had a pool and all these different places. And you can ask Ashley this, while we were in the bathroom like changed. So it was, at first it felt like it was just like a stall bathroom, like it had like 2 or 3 stalls, and then all of a sudden it was just like one room. We came out of the stall, it was just like one room with a sink right there. Like he was like actually trapping us in there. So I guess the room was like pushing in or something like that. Like the room got small. I was like, what the heck going on? Y'all, I was like, do not touch her, just touch me. And I did it again, y'all, in Texas. This is when the guy was I was in Texas, and a guy was there. He was at a youth hostel with me, and he did the same thing. He was like trying to get me into the room by myself. Y'all, just took all my clothes off and was like, just touch me. You see what I'm saying? Because he had the device from when the other guy tried to do that to us at the lodge in Fairview Heights, Illinois. So after that, we moved into the trailer, and the person kept trying to make Carla physically abuse Ashley. So the person kept trying to make her hit Ashley, and Ashley, she don't hit people like that. She don't fight Carla at all, right? So that just kept happening, and then they tried to make her burn up the trailer. So that person wanted her to be beat too. So it was like, as soon as y'all, and then it was another movie they had where it was 2 little boys and a bike and a red wagon or something. That's the one that's about us getting beat all the time. So it was like, let me see, 2 little boys abused after the war movie. So hopefully it comes up. I don't know what it's called. It's like they had a red wagon. They just kept playing it to y'all. They would just want us to cry like all the time. So it's like, I mean, they just take us through all the stuff. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, so yeah, it was like 2 boys after the war, and the father would just like beat the crap out of them. So that was really probably just me and Ashley's story, like for real. What else? So that was it. That was in the trailer, and we saw that when we moved back into a house at 38 Maryland. So let's see, that was at the trailer. They wanted her beat for trying to burn up the trailer. Then the McGee's came over, and they actually had a fight or something at the trailer. Okay. So at that time we were at Bluffview Park, and I think they were using a device at Bluffview Park, and that's where you find this girl who looks like Kim Kardashian. And she is the person that I think they were using to sleep with, because they wouldn't let her move on to the next grade. Like she was in the 6th grade. She was probably 15 or 16 years old in the 6th grade. The person they wouldn't pass her to the next grade. So that's when we ended up moving back to Cahokia. Okay. Oh yeah, it was also people out there at the trailer park that kept calling us niggers and stuff like that. So then we moved to Cahokia. The first time we try to go to the candy store, we get called niggers. You see what I'm saying? And they have all the devices at the house. Okay. So once we get to Cahokia, I think Brandon probably had something to do with it, but we didn't see Brandon yet. Y'all see, because Brandon Clark supposedly lived up the street. So when we get to Cahokia, the woman is trying to figure out if I can remember that Sadie was killed. But I did remember that the guy said, I didn't even remember that though, but I do remember now that the guy said that they were going to try to move her into a different house, right? He was like, nah, man, we need to move you to a different house. You see what I'm saying? Because that was it. Like, it's like they had already like did something with Sadie's body, right? So she got to this different house in Cahokia, 38 Maryland Lane, and it didn't have any stairs or anything. So she was there, and she was just teaching me how to cook and stuff. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe she think that she just helping me or something. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I don't remember anything. Like, I don't remember anything about anything. So I didn't want. It wasn't that. It's just I couldn't remember anything. So I guess she knew that if she had the device, that I wouldn't remember. Y'all see what I'm saying? So I never remember anything about anything. And so that's what happened. It's a good one and it's a bad one, right? So the good one would be there. She'll like help me like learn how to cook food when I get home from school. She'll cook food when she get home from work and she'll go to work. She'll just leave because she work at night. She helped people out, but the person that was like she was helping out was Brandon Clark. So Brandon Clark will be wearing costumes and stuff like that. Um, the abuse stopped for real, like the sexual stuff, until it was like I got a little older or something. He kept coming back. So this time when he come back, he want me to touch myself. Or if Terrell there, he'll try to abuse Terrell. Like he'll try to use the device on Terrell. So much so to be like Terrell like glitching or having a seizure. He had Faith using the device. I ended up getting mad at Nikki, which is Angela Thomas. And I think that's abusive too, because I was like, I didn't want to be mad at her. Me and her ended up sleeping with the same person. Finally, that's something they wanted to happen too. They really wanted us to fight about a man. So we ended up both dating Tony, which is Grady's. He was supposed to be our stepfather's son. Then the next kind of abuse where I could actually physically see somebody was when the man that they accused Nikki of sleeping with, he tried to hump me. His name was Harold. He was trying to hump me in the middle of the night. So I went to tell the surrogate, and the surrogate actually was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like she didn't get mad about it at all. She was like, you should have just gotten to bed. You should have just put yourself in the bed. And it's like, well, I went to sleep. So this is when the woman that is always messing with Tayana Taylor and saying she's with Beyonce, that's the woman that set that up. So she set that up, and she was really the person that was like saying that stuff. So the bad one, she would just sit there and listen. That's the one that'll just get in your face. You see what I'm saying? What else happened? That was it. So I finally just moved out. Y'all see what I'm saying? So when I moved out, I moved to the college, and that's when I found out I had a whole different set of stalkers. And that was the Phi Beta Sigmas, that was the Alpha Phi Alphas, that was the Zeta Phi Betas, and the AKA. So they were both male and female sororities. The stalkers that I had, like really that were like Caucasian stalkers. They weren't like Caucasian stalkers. Like they weren't bad. Lena Dunham would be considered an evil Caucasian stalker. Like the other people, they were just happy that I was a real person. Like they were just like, okay, let's hang out. Like they would like at first y'all, I had like so many different types of friends and all this different stuff. And so when Faith Mean got involved, she first made me get mad at Nikki, and then she made all the people on campus get mad at me because she just a lousy person. Tempe is another person where it was like they just kept talking to me about Tempe too. So I gotta put Faith Ming on her because she's like a lifetime stalker. So, like I said, I'm just going into. I was age 17, so I was solicited by somebody that was on campus. I was solicited by a guy when I was 17, and he was telling me he wanted to have sex with me, and I told him no. Mark was like, "You don't think you can't be a writer because I'm going to do it." Basically, that's what Mark was saying. So he basically threatened me with that, and he did. He tried to take my whole life and write about it this whole time. He's probably introduced Tyler Perry, Oprah, all the black people that are involved. That's probably because of Mark. He's an alpha. And then what else? What else happened sexually? Y'all, I stayed away from them so much. I stayed away from Brenda Hope, Antoinette, Brandy. I didn't do anything. Brandy knew about Norvell and Neat sleeping with each other with me in the bed. Oh, I forgot about Jackie. So in the middle of that, I was in Texas, and Jackie wanted me to eat her vagina. And she was like, it tastes like milk. And so I was probably like 8 or 9 years old. So that's statutory rape. That's also because I wouldn't do it, y'all. I was like, I act like I fell asleep. I was like, I passed out. Do you hear me? I do not want to eat vagina. So that showed me that she was trying to use the device to sexually molest me. Rita, which is not Rita Doty. That's her real name. Her name is Rita Doty Parrott. Rita Doty Parrott, all throughout this time, she would like bring me to her house and try to use the device um to have sex or be with her partners. So she would use the device and then she'll just stand there with her hands folded and her head turned. They be glitching out, trying to figure out what she's supposed to do. She be standing there in her panties and bra trying to figure out who it was that was on the device and who she was trying to be. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, and she would just have me there so she could like have me sleep on a blanket and give it. And no, Brandy, let's switch blankets so the blanket smell like me. Um, but yeah, she did that. Like, let's see, the first time I was like, um 12 or 13 years old. I was 12 or 13 years old, and she took me to a church, and it was a pimp there. It was two pimps. One of them, he still stalks me, listens to all my videos, everything, and tries to pretend to be me. So the first time I was 13, the next time, oh yeah, before that, yeah, and that it was probably like when I was probably about 14 or 15 years old. She took me to a house that was by the church that she supposedly got married in, and she had sex with a man while I was there. So then she moved to Belleville and she had a man there. She had me stay the night there. She did that 2 times with 2 different men. And then she moved to Fairview Heights. And that's when the guy was like, fuck you. This guy, y'all, I think I was already in college. And the guy was like, why does she need to house sit? And I'm hurt. I think I graduated college maybe. And they were trying to use me to do something with the guy, to figure something out with this guy. He was like, why do they have me here? Like, why they got me here with this girl? Like, this is a grown little woman. Like, she's a nice looking little woman. He was like, I am not about to stay in this house with this girl. She wanted me to stay there with the man or something like that. And I was sleeping in her room. Y'all, I'm in there walking around. I thought I was at the house by myself. Her son, Tony, came back. Y'all, they egged my car, all types of stuff. So that was it. Like, it's like she would use the device to try to have the sex that Norville and Neat had at the time. I guess maybe she was probably trying to figure out if it was Cosby or not. It was Norville. So she was trying to figure out who else it could be because she would get with me and sometimes she would act like Joel McCombs. So that's what it is. So it's like, that's what I wanted to really like just be like, okay, so do you guys realize that this whole time that you were trying to molest me, have sex with me, I was really underage, and that's statutory rape. It's rape on top of kidnap. So that's it for this show, y'all. That's all I can get out. I am exhausted. I'm exhausted because a lot of this started because they thought that because Billy's mother was a doll, that I was a sex doll. So all of this is sexually motivated. Somebody is like, I am not the MFing one. Somebody say, tell her that. I bet she can't sit in my face and tell me. Dodie, you cannot sit in my face and tell me anything because you did it. They cannot sit in my face, y'all, and tell me anything. If Carla, Ashley, Angela, Antoine sit right here in my face, they can tell me anything they want to. Anything they need to. They can spit on me, bite me, whatever. And they won't because nothing happened. Like it wasn't something where I was abused by them. If Rita said her, Aretha Shields, if she said her, she wouldn't be able to do that either. Osa proved no. Danielle proved no. That was my real family. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like that's the family that I was adopted to. That's the family that knows me. The rest of you, you won't know anything about me. So you can't sit in my face and say you're not the one because you did it. Hope Clark, you did it. Antoinette Guthrie, you did it. Radiance Pierce, you did it. Brenda Odom, you did it. Tippy Harmon, you did it. Faith Ming, you did it. Brandy, you did it. They cannot sit in my, you are a stranger. Joel King, you did it. Jack Gibson, you did it. You did it. I'm seeing the stuff happening in my house right now. You did it. All these people chasing me around, you did it. You hurt people. And you still out here with a device that does, it's nothing about you on the stuff. Like you never spent the day with me. You never played with me. You never sit outside. You never talked to me. You never been kind to me. You did it. This is not a situation where you think you're going to sit somewhere and cuss me out, call me names, whatever. You need to do that in my face, in public. Come do it. I bet you the device won't let you, because guess what? You did it. It's the truth. The device will lead you straight to the truth. You did it. Have a great day.